name is Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Woodland Stitching Studio. I have a lot to share with you today. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you will like all the things that you see and that you'll return. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch, but today at the end, I'm going to save them for the end. I'm going to show you a bunch of things I've done that are not cross stitch, and some of the things I haven't done these particular things recently, but they're things I'm going to get back into and do some more of because I love doing them. They are the ones I have to show today all involve paper. So I've had a busy few weeks. My goals for the year were to do a Christmas ornament every month and to work on finishing things and not have a bazillion new starts like is my nature, because I consider myself a serial starter. I love starting, but I also am overwhelmed by stuff. And I've been working on purging and organizing, and that's why my backdrop all looks different. It looked like this last time, except I've put a few things on the wall. My African Savannah elephant, the Lindy Stitches pattern I showed last time, is right there. Over here you can't really see them. Some of the other things I have framed, I've put up there. And my intention for this wall is eventually for it to be African animals, because I have several whips and some that I still want to start. But it's going to be a long time till more of those are done. They're all big. And so I've been thinking I don't want a blank wall behind me. I might just make it a hodgepodge of all the kinds of things I do have done already. Like the kitties right here could hang on the wall. There's two things behind me there. And a few things I'm going to show you today could go on the wall. So I think I might do that. And then as I finish the African animals, they'll replace something that's up there. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I wasn't going to say all that, so that was a little added bonus. So I do have a lot of things to share with you today. I spent last weekend fully finishing several things of my own. I have a lot more to do, and I have some that are missing, which is really weird. I've been doing all this purging and stuff, and I decided when I'm all the way done, I'm going to have to go through and make a list, because I have a pile. I showed you a few videos ago. I have a pile of items that need to be fully finished, and the only ones I can find are the ones I have finished stitching this year. There's still a pile that's like this big that I don't know where it is, so I need to find it. So I have some fully finished items. I have one finish, some whips, just a tiny little bit of haul. I did spend a little bit of money this month or last month, and then I'll share with you some of my fun paper crafting things that I've done. Sorry, I have an itch here. So they're not going to be in any particular order, except this one is the last, or the first one as far as all the ones that I'm going to show you. I did this one a few weeks ago. This is Meow Block Party, and this was a whip for way too long, and I finally finished stitching it. What was holding me up was I was stitching this around here, and these little white fish bones or pain in the hiney. So I was not enjoying stitching those. So I finally finished this. This is by Hands On Design, and you can buy the decorative pins that match. There's one you can't see back here. This is Meow Block Party. It comes with the wool for the top, and on the bottom I put my initials and the year. So that one is Meow Block Party. Just this morning I fully finished this one. I'm filming on Friday, and on Thursday nights we have our stitch group, and last night I showed them the rest of the pile that I'm going to show you, but I couldn't finish this one because I was waiting for the frame to come from Amazon, and Amazon delivers to me about 8 o'clock at night. So this is Moonlight Berry Sampler. This is the only Bent Creek I've ever stitched, and I don't remember what the fabric is. It's an even weave. I didn't get out my little card, so it was fun. I changed in the pattern, this blue of the house is a lighter blue, and I changed that to a variegated, I used a silk, a dinky dye silk. But the rest of it, I think I used the called for colors. Maybe. I don't remember. But I bought this frame on Amazon. It's a 4x8 frame because these are 2x6. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do this as a flat fold or in a frame, and I finally decided I wanted to do a frame. So that is Moonlight Berry Sampler. And then the rest of these, everyone who was at the group last night got to see, but you guys haven't seen them, so I'm going to save these 3 for last. This one is a Teresa Kogut. It was my first Teresa Kogut. It's Bittersweet Bird. It's been finished for a while, and I finally finished it on this little paper mache box. This was the way her sample was finished, and it was a lot of fun to stitch, and I really like it. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something. This is Old Saint Nick, and he was from a magazine, and I made him a flat fold. He's on 14 count Aida. It's an Aida that is from Amazon, I think. So this is a flat fold. Put a little charm on there. That's a bell. Old Saint Nick. And if you want to know like what magazine he was from, let me know and I can find it. I forgot to get out the cards to go with these things. You'd think. I'm pretty sure I say that every time, so I apologize. This one is one that for our Christmas party for our stitch group, this was one of the Advent projects that was of the 12 projects we all received. This is called Christmas Eve Salt Box. It's by Can't remember the name. Pumpkin and Pumpkin, something like that, I don't know. Elise gave us this as a kit. So the floss, the fabric, everything was there. It is, I don't remember if it's, I think it might be a 36 count fabric. And I stitched mine with 2 threads instead of 1. I made this into a flat fold also. Put a couple little bells at the top. I love the little Santa and the reindeer going across. It was fun to stitch. I like to stitch houses even though they're big and take forever. They're fun to stitch. You can't see on this fabric, it's hard to see the white. There's white on here. There's a snowman here, but I absolutely love this. Christmas Eve Salt Box. This one is by Erin Elizabeth Designs. It's called Hello Summer. And it is on, I think it's an 18 count, just a scrap of blue Aida. And I added this fun button and this little button. And then I put this guy up in the corner. This is on a piece that was from, what's the name of that company? Chalk Couture. I had several pieces from them that was one of my fads I went through, and I didn't stay very long. But Hello Summer by Erin Elizabeth Designs. I kind of wish I'd done a little bit darker because the white, I can see it in person. It's harder to see on video where it says summer. That was a fun stitch. And my last 3 finishes are all from Nashville Market. I did a tiny order with Lindy Stitches, thanks to her fun videos that she does. And I ordered 5 patterns, and then there is there's a thread pack. I can't remember what the thread pack's called the Night Garden, and there were 20 designers that all charted designs to go with the thread pack, and I gave away my threads last night. But you'll see them all in these 2 projects that I did. This first one is called Forget Me Nots. It's by Ink Circles. And of course I loved it when I saw it because it's an elephant. Isn't he adorable? Cute little elephant. So there's 4 colors. There's this bright blue and a green, and they're very pretty. They're by Threadworks. This actually is, the name of it is a purple color, and it's a purpley gray, and then there's this beige color. And this is a 14 count Aida scrap that I found, and I put some lace behind there. This finishing piece is from Chantel's 141 Design Company. this comes off, and it came with this really weird Velcro stuff that sticks really well. And this, I knew I wanted to use this blue because it kind of matches the blue thread, but I didn't want all blue because it would be too much. So I used, let me see if I can get this back on here. I used, what are they called? I used ink, vintage photo. I just used ink and a sponge to do the brown parts. And then I sprayed it all with a sealer before I put this on here. And then I have this cute, tiny little charm. I love elephants. And I was looking for elephant charms once, and I found these on Amazon, and I got either 50 or 100, and they're enamel charms, and there's many different colors. So I pulled one out that has blue, which it's hard to see. It's not showing up very well right here, and I just thought it was cute on there. So that is Forget-Me-Nots by Ink Circles. And with my order, I got a free pattern. It was from the Blue Flower, and it's called Iris. And this is the Iris. And this is another flat fold. And I like to add little charms just to add something, and I have these cute little owls, and I thought he went fun on there. And this is on, I think it's 18 count, and it's a vintage smoky white. It was a scrap also. And my last, is that my last one? My last finish, this, so the elephant was a start and a finish. The iris was a start and a finish. And then this was, I've never done a JBW Designs, but they had this as a kit. It came with everything except the floss, even came with the finishing piece. This is called A Sweet Springtime Songbird. I stitched this in one evening. So it came with this finishing piece. It came with the floss to do the cording. It came with the little bird charm and the blue ribbon. And I just thought it was so pretty that I had to do it. So those are my finishes, my fully finished items. I had a lot of fun doing them. I started them on Friday last weekend, and I was gone all day Saturday. So I finished most of these on Sunday. The little elephant took longer because I had to wait for paint to dry, and I don't like waiting for paint to dry. And so now I have one finish to share with you. This pattern is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's called the Jolly Trio, and I had already shown you that I finished this little cat. I just did the fox. This is my Christmas ornament for April. I don't know how I'm going to fully finish him. I don't really like hoop finishes, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't really finished. The only Christmas one I've finished, I think, is the Old Saint Nick and the Christmas Eve salt box. But I have so I've done, this will be my, at least my fourth, maybe fifth Christmas ornament that I've stitched this year. This is 28 count Blue Jay Linen by Picture This Plus. And he was fun to stitch. I love foxes. He's just so fun. Cute little guy. This took me, well, I would have done it in 2 evenings, but one of the 2 evenings I got a late start, so it took me 2.5 evenings. So that is my finishes and fully finished items. And I have a few whips to share. I don't know if you've seen this one. Did I show this? I might have shown a tiny little start in my last, oh, where did the pattern go? I think I got my stack out of, oh, here it is. Got my stack out of order. I can't remember if I showed this in the last video or not. This is Winter Blessings Lighthouse by Stony Creek. And I might not have because it would have been a tiny little start. This is stitched on 16 count Aida that's called Whimsical by Bestitch Me. Get it right side up, right side up. What the heck? Which way does it go? This way. Okay, I was trying to put it sideways. So this is the lighthouse. This is one of the arms of the snowman, and I'm working on the scarf. And the blue is very close to the color of the fabric, but for one, it's Stony Creek, so it will all be backstitched. So you'll be able to see it. And also, none of the blue is on the edges of the scarf. So that means also you'll be able to see it. This one's a lot of fun to stitch because it's blocks of color. I like doing blocks of color. So that was Winter Blessings Lighthouse by Stony Creek. This one is Mill Hill, and it is Butterfly Capri. It's a Laurel Birch design. I used to have some of a purse that was made out of cat fabric. That was her design. Bright colors. I love bright colors. So, let me get that out of the way. This is where I'm at. So I've stitched all the butterfly except I have a mistake in here. No, I have a mistake over here. And so I need to take part of this out, and then there'll be one more color, and this has one more color, and it looks like down there too. But otherwise I'm working on the background. This is 14 count white perforated paper. And this is going to be, this has a lot of backstitch to make the definition, and it's all with black. Not my favorite part. I enjoy putting the beads on. I can't wait to see it finished. But it is full coverage, so it's still a long way from being finished. The next whip that I've been working on pretty steadily, this is by Stony Creek. It is a booklet called Cozy Cats, and it's book number 410. I love everything in this book, but I'm working on this one. And the book is old enough. Stony Creek, you can usually buy the frames and mats and everything. This book is old enough that it's not available. I would love to have gotten that frame or that mat. I don't know if I'll take it somewhere and try to get that or not, because it would be pretty spendy. So we'll see how I end up finishing it. But I've made good progress on it. This is being stitched on 14 count. Oh, I think my card is in the book. 14 count Aida. It's just a light blue Aida that was in my stash. Oh, I was going to take this off so you can see the whole thing. Because I have a little bit stuck behind there. And there's where I'm at. I'm right now working up here on the kitty's head. I have a little bit left to do on the basket over here, a little bit left to do on the kitty's head, and then the whole thing is back stitched. So this one has been a lot of fun to stitch on. I started it on February 25th, and I have stitched on it every single day, at least a little bit. In the morning I have a little bit of time before work, and this is what I've stitched on every day, and then throughout the day, sometimes there's times or lunchtime or whatever when I have a little bit of time, and I keep it here and just keep working on it. The next one that I have been working on, find it inside here, this is called Africa, and it's in this magazine that is Simply the Best Cross Stitch and Beading by Jill Oxton. I got this off the freebie table at the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit year before last, I think. This is the magazine. These are no longer in print. This is what I'm working on. So they show how you can just take parts. And so what I'm doing, I kind of wish I'd started the whole thing, but I don't have enough fabric, so I can't. I am doing just the giraffe. So I'm going to do like to here. And then I think I'm also going to stitch just the zebra. And they have them, that border is really busy, and they show it, where did it go? They show it somewhere in here. Huh, I'm not seeing it. oh, it's on the next page. They show them tiny, where when you stitch part, you don't do that busy border. It's just a plain brown border. So that's the way I'm going to do mine. So it's called Africa, and I'm doing the giraffe. And I guess I need to show it to you. This is where I'm at. I don't have a lot of work since last time you've seen it. I was working in here on the giraffe. This is on 18 count white Aida. I don't usually stitch on white, but this is full coverage, so that's when I get out my Aida. The next one is a kit. It's an RTO kit, and it's called Flamingo, but there's 2 of them, so really it should be flamingos. I started this in 2021. It's a gift for my sister. And I was going to give it to her for Christmas or her birthday that year. And I did not, obviously. And I've been hung up. Every time I pull it out, I've been hung up in... I had stitched most of the first one, and I've been hung up in here because you can't really tell on there, but this top part of the body, it's like 3 colors that are all really similar without the dark colors. And it's confetti heavy, and every time I would pull it out and work on it, I would only stitch a few stitches and then I'd be tired of it. So I decided to save that for last, and I moved on. The last time you saw it, I had this giraffe, it's not a giraffe, it's a flamingo. Did I say giraffe earlier too? This whole part is done, and part of his legs, and just part of the body is what I had done. So I came down here to this dark and I stitched a bunch of it. I started the legs a little bit, and then I worked up into the head, and the head's not all the way done, but it's pulled out of the Q-snap because I'm going to move it to a 12 by 12 or 11 by 11 Q-snap. So this is where I am. I did this and this dark part and started the legs, and so I'm going to finish the bottom and then go back to this flamingo. So I have water and some more greenery to do across here and a little bit up there, and then I'll go back and finish all of him, because I am really tired of all those corally colors. I think flamingos are cool birds, but like they're not my thing, so they're definitely my sister's thing. And the last whip I have to show you, this is from the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit last September. It was Teresa Kogut and Heartstring Samplery, and they gave us these 2, each gave us a pattern. This is the one from Teresa Kogut. It's called No Distance Too Far. I don't need to use this board, it's a card. And then Heartstring Samplery is called Across the Miles. So they had the 2 models stitched separately, but, and I am going to insert a picture. They had the 2 stitched together, and I really liked that. So the fabric they gave us was big enough to stitch them separately or together, and I decided to do them together. So I started in the middle because that was how I figured out to get the right placement for the 2 to go side by side. Started in the middle, and then I'm working to the right. This fabric is Cedar River linen, and it's 36 count maple bar. And so the middle is right here. It's not going to cooperate with me. There, okay. The middle is right here. This cat is on the Heartstring Samplery side, and all of this is on the Teresa Kogut side. So I started with this right here to find the middle and to figure out the placement. I had to do that to figure out how to put these 2 side by side. And then I went this way. This is the edge right here. This is the beginning of the house. This is a leg of a little raccoon. That's what I'm stitching right now. I think it's the raccoon. So this is kind of fun to stitch because each time you finish something, you finish a motif, it's like a little win. The deer I didn't stitch in one sitting, but like the cat and this part is what I stitched at the retreat. And then when I went home, I started going this way. This is not my normal kind of stitching. It's a sampler. At least it doesn't have alphabets. It has words. So the words say distance means so little when someone means so much. And I really liked that. And both Teresa and Beth explained, and I don't remember it all, but they explained like it's their own, it's a facsimile of their own house and the animals that they see. So there's a raccoon on one and an otter on the other, and they are Willow and Finn, and I don't remember which one is which. And then they also gave us a pattern that I've shown before. It's a biscornu that has Willow and Finn on it. So that is the end of my whips. I'll show you a little bit of haul. I did, like I said, because of Lindy's stitches, I only picked up a few things that I had to have. So I've shown you 2 of them that are stitched and finished already, the little elephant and the bird. I also picked up Seasons of the Heart, Heart of the Mountains by the Blue Flower. I don't think she had a thread pack, and this uses, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It uses 8 cottage garden threads. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get the thread pack or not. Because this only finishes at like 4x5. I feel like I should stitch from stash. So I'm going to evaluate. I'll see if I end up with a thread pack, but I'm going to evaluate what's in the pattern that is variegated and what I might have that I can use instead. But I like these Seasons of the Heart pillows. They're I stitched one last year and I used it for a smalls exchange, and I didn't make it a pillow, I don't think. I think I made it I think I finished it on a wood piece. And then Hands On Design had this pattern. It's called Wear It Well, and there's this needle book is perforated paper, and these 2 things go together. It's called Wear It Well because it's got a crown. I'm not really into crowns, but I liked the idea of the perforated paper needle book. I like the design overall, except the crown. So I'll probably leave the crown in, I don't know. And then see how she finished the pillow on the back. I don't know how well you can see it. There's a pocket on the back and she has stuck scissors in there. So this is called Wear It Well by Hands On Design. And I had to get the newest Tiny Town. This is Nativity. I think I have all of the Tiny Towns but one. I didn't buy the exclusive that was for keepsakes. And the last piece of haul I have, I watch Sarah. She's the Northwood Stitcher. She's in Maine. And if you haven't watched her, you should. She's entertaining, and her videos are different than all the other Flosstube videos. I really enjoy watching her. And she showed, she was going through some of her patterns and showing them. And she showed this one. It's by Charlie Harper. He's an artist. It's called Love From Above. And his style of art doesn't really speak to me, but this is giraffes, a mom and a baby. And I fell in love with it, and I went on eBay and found it. So that is, it's a mommy giraffe, and she's kissing her baby. So this, and there are several other designs that are cute, but like I said, the style doesn't really speak to me. So I don't know. Although this one's a cardinal in a bird bath. It's really pretty. Oh, and I just realized this one's an otter. I love otters. Yeah, so we'll see if I end up with any more of his, but I had to go on eBay to find it. And it's, what's the stitch count? Does it say? Does it say? Stitch count is 216 tall by 64 wide. It's got quite a bit of back stitching, and the back stitching, some of it's in the way of the stitches. So we'll see how it goes. It's only got 6 colors. Yeah. So it's stitched on 28 count, and it's 4.5 wide by 15.5 long. So it will go up there. It will not take forever to stitch because it's tall and skinny. So I want to start that sometime soon, but I have a whole bunch of things I want to start, and I'm trying to be good. My goal at the beginning of the year was to finish 2 things before I start one thing, and I've done really good so far. I'm way ahead because in January I finished a bunch of things, and I didn't start one for every 2. I don't usually talk about my plans, but this weekend at Acorns and Threads is Jeanette Douglas all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I'm going to be doing that. 5 from our stitch group are going to go, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I went the last time she came to Acorns and Threads, and she is a very good teacher. She's a very sweet lady, and it just was a lot of fun. So I was glad to see her coming back again. So I'm going to be doing that this weekend. So my next video, I will have that stuff to show you. And then thinking about that makes me want to get out some of the whips that I have that are her stuff, but I can only stitch on so many things at a time. Is that all? So that's all for the cross stitch. So if that's all you want to see, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who watches. I like to share what I make, and yeah, so thank you for watching. Now I'm going to show some paper crafting things that I have made, the kinds of things that I really love to do. I used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm not anymore. I used to go to retreats, and I used to have classes every month. And I don't remember what this was made for. This could have been made for a retreat or a class or something. It's a cute little paper purse. Well, it's cardstock with Velcro. And then this closes up, and it's a little gift box. So these kinds of things are fun to make. I've made a lot of different kinds of things like this with a cute little handle. Oh, I love making albums. So I'll show you this one first. This is a little album that I made for a retreat, and it's been beat up. Its little flap thing came off. I need to fix it. At the retreats I used to go to, we offered extra projects that they could buy kits, and we had to have a paper tutorial. So this was one of the albums I made for a retreat. This was with a lighthouse set from Stampin' Up! And this is, my husband and I took a trip to Astoria and then went across into Washington to the lighthouses, and it was a lot of fun. This was at the, what's it called? It's a museum, Maritime Museum, maybe? And this was just a fun little book to put together. This guy, when we were at one of the lighthouses, he was very small for a raccoon. We were getting back in our car, and I had the trunk open, and I looked down, and he's standing there looking at me. He was begging. He was very polite. I didn't have anything to give him. We didn't have any food. And when I closed the trunk and walked towards my door, he just backed up. But he was only a few feet away from me, and he was determined I was going to give him some food. Signs everywhere, don't feed the animals, but I'm sure people do. And then that's my husband and I both. And did I do any? I did do pullouts. So I like to do pocket pages. So these have pullouts. Each of these pages has a pullout. Some of them are up and some of them are sideways. So this, I've done all different sizes of this kind of album. This is a smaller one. A lot of fun to make. And then this one I did for one of the retreats as a bonus project. This is a little tea tin that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. And I made this with a stamp and die set that was these cute little elves. So this is a tin. The tin is brass colored. And if I can get it out of there, here is my little album. It's an inch or an inch and a half thick. And it has all these little tags. This one doesn't have any pictures in it because this was just for the class. And this is made with envelopes, so each page is an envelope that I made into a scrapbook page. So it was not just an elf set, it was a Santa set. This one has a flip out. And then there's a pocket there. Do they all have a flip out? Oh, they do all have a flip out. It's been a long time since I looked at this particular album. Pocket there. And that's the back. So this was a fun little thing. It's a fun gift to make for somebody. I love to make three-dimensional things, so anyone who was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator was invited to make the extras and sell kits, and mine were always three-dimensional. This was something, I think I might have done this for those retreats. It's a little get well box. So it's got a magnet in it. Open it up. And this side has tea and emergency in it. And this side has Ricola. And this is a few years old, so I'm sure the Ricola is not good anymore because it hasn't been kept and sealed. But so that's my little get well kit. I have these little things. I have two of these, and this next one I'm going to show, I have one of it, or I have three of it. And I can't make myself get rid of these things, but they take up space, so they're becoming a challenge in my purge. This is another tiny album. This one is in a little pizza box that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. And so this is what it looks like. This ribbon is fun. It's printed. It says Merry Christmas. Makes it hard to tie though, because it's only printed on one side, so to tie so you see it is a little difficult. This is a trifold album. And then this is kind of like a waterfall, but not really because they're all the same size. You can put photos there. That's a pocket. This is made so you can put a photo there. It opens up. Photos, any place there's blank space, you could do journaling. And then this, I hesitate to open because it's going to be hard to tie the ribbon again, but this folds out. This little album I have made in 2 or 3 different sizes. This is the shortest size. I've made a taller one. But this is what I have left. I don't know what happened to the others. I used to do holiday bazaars, and these are the kinds of this and this. These are the kinds of things that I sold at the bazaars. Another thing I love to make, well, I'll show you this first because I was showing books. I think I've shown this one before. This is beautiful elephant paper, and it's by a company called Graphic 45. And this is my version of a junk journal. I don't do junk, so I don't get the whole junk journal thing, but I made this. I originally made this for a friend who likes all the same things as me, and when I gave it to her, I put it in a decorative box that I made, which I'll show you something similar. But so I had to make one for myself. I've never written in it. Right here, this is called a waterfall. When you do the flaps, you can do pictures. It's hard to do backwards, but. And then there's a magnet that holds that. I made 3 signatures that I made myself. And this book, I think I did a tutorial. This book is put together with, these are all sewn in to the binding. And I just had fun with this paper pack. I just really love this paper pack. So I put, like, that's a little paper bag. And it's a pocket, so you can put something in there. I made a pocket there. I just love this paper. This elephant paper is so pretty. Well, it's not just elephants, but I made this book about elephants because this is peacock paper. So that's the book, and I had to make a matching box. I had made this box, this shape box and size, for a friend with the Halloween thing. I made it for a gift box for this Halloween thing that I made. And then I had to go make this box for myself. So this is one of the some of the cut aparts. That's on the sides of the paper. Isn't that pretty, the giraffe? And then it's got feet. And I used a little knob on top. And then the paper inside. What's it got in there? Nothing fun. Oh, it does have some fun things. I haven't been in here for a while. I made these. Where's your hanger? Where's your hanger? I made these little butterflies. There's supposed to be a hanger on it. They're die-cut butterflies made out of pattern paper, and I hung little gems on them and then put glitter all over them. I thought they had hangers, but I haven't been in this box for a while. And then here is, I taught a class, here is the baby version of the same box. The feet are little beads, and the top is a little bead. That's all that's in there. So I made these two that match together, and now they should be behind me. Really, they should be on that somewhere on this thing behind me. So that's not where those box, either one of them was, but and then I made this little box. I did a video, well, I did 3 videos. I made the same box, exact same size, 3 different ways. Cute little feet. This is a bead. Yeah, it's made for going on a bracelet or a necklace. And then it's hard to see the inside. I was selling these at bazaars too, so I have a few of these. And then this one, I thought this paper was fun, and it matches, I don't know how I chose this size, but it matches this little thing that I made that I forgot to pull out. So I made this for my card making supplies. So each slot was made for a specific thing. One was for the tape runner. One is for my Stampin' Dimensionals, which is 3D foam tape, glue, different things in each pocket. This was an extra one. I was selling these at bazaars too. And so I put this on my desk to put my Post-it notes and stuff in. I made some others that are made specifically for Post-it notes. I don't have any more of those anymore. But I do have all of these things I've done. I did videos because my channel used to be, oh, I can't put that back. My channel used to be paper crafting and tutorials. So everything that I've made videos for. And so there's 3 different playlists. There is one that's, it's called My Tutorials Miscellaneous. And there's one that's called My Decorative Boxes. So all of these and the boxes that I've shown will be in there. There's one that's called Mini Albums I Created. And I've made bigger albums that are decorative. I did one for my sister that was with this absolutely beautiful paper that was her. She likes pink. And it's just stunning. And I made this really pretty album, and then I made a matching box. I mean, the album is this big. I think it's a 6x9, but I made a matching box similar to this, but to fit the album. And when I made this book for my friend, the box that I made was like it was probably this shape, but it was made the size of the album. So this is another one that I made. This is one of my favorites. I love this paper. I didn't do a very good job at dusting that. And inside here, I did a pull-out tray. And then I have some little clippies in there. So these 2 boxes I've kept, they've been on display, and nobody ever comes to my house, but I didn't have any place behind me to display things before, so you couldn't see them, and I'm trying to figure out how to do all this back here and show things, show fun things, but there's not room for everything, so I'll have to rotate things, I think. So I will link to each of those playlists below if you want to see any of that. In the miscellaneous tutorials, I just looked at it and I can't remember what's in there. There might be some albums in there, there might be some boxes. There are other playlists on my channel that are card tutorials and all the other different things that I used to do. But so that's some of the other things that I enjoy doing when I'm not cross-stitching. Cross-stitching is something I'm obsessed with. So crafting in general I'm obsessed with, but cross-stitching is something, it's my current obsession. And I did play last weekend a little bit with some napkin art, but what I was playing with isn't finished yet, so I'll show that in my next video. I want to do punch needle, and I have a box of wool applique things to work on. So hopefully in future videos I will do some other things and not just get stuck in cross stitch. I've also been hung up by my purge that I've been working on, and I kind of finally have this area the way that I want it, I think. But I have a whole room that still has stacks of stuff, and my goal is more space than stuff. There's still stacks of stuff in there, and it's all stuff I can't get rid of. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do next to try to make all of my space workable. I have 2 desktops in there, and I can't get to one of them, and the other one is covered with the napkin art stuff I was working on. And I need to clean off the other one because that's where my sewing machine needs to go, and I have some things I need to sew. So we'll see how all that goes. So if you've gotten all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. And I think that is all I have for today. I'm going to link Sarah the Northwood Stitcher below so you can check her out. And I think that's it. Sorry, I get to the end and forget what else I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching, and happy stitching.